I have another example for you here of the never-ending work with my evolving method. And so I'm going to give a demonstration here, and I'm also going to talk about a couple of very interesting developments and some things to think about because they're important to me, and maybe they'll be important to you too. But first off, let's take a quick look at what's happening here. This is the range of time and space here. This is water cliff or whatever in Yosemite, California. So let's see what happened. I still don't think my system audio still doesn't work. Let's see what happened. Adjust my camera so my big head doesn't stick in the camera. And let's see. Slight something, but no. That was a yes. That was a yeser. That one had a quality to it. A quality that I understand from years and years of doing these experiments to blind quote-unquote targets, so that I understand the quality. That's very difficult to teach. Like a pile of rocks. This is the crux of what I'm developing here. And it may be that this system only works for me. it as of yet to be seen. But I'll explain more in a minute. It's like a pile of rocks. This one had the quality. That one had the quality as well. That the proprioceptors are now providing a dimensional sensation. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I'm wanting. It has the quality. I'm compelled to continue to experience it because the proprioceptors here are active. That's what I want. I'm not quite sure how this shape goes yet, but feels solid. Those are my dimensional sensations, the quality of it. Something like that. It goes down, but it's ridged. It's like a ledge of some kind. I'm at about a 45% confidence level here. Moving up to about 50-55% that the dimensional sensation is true and actual remote viewing is taking place. feeling is like a ledge near water. And that is true. That is true. The dimensional sensations are correct. The sensation of water is correct. An actual remote viewing is taking place. And I'm quite happy about it. I like hanging out there. My confidence level here that an actual, I'm at about 70-75% confidence level here that this is actually true. Which is, yeah, which is all I want with the remote. I want the truth. I just want something true. I want something real. I want something real. And that's the dimensional shape of it. So I passed the initiation there. There's my water line. It's strong enough to where my confidence here about 95%. The dimensional sensation is strong. Goes up high. It's rich like that. It's kind of cool. The notion is like a ridge, a cliff. It goes like that. And it's got that stuff on it too. And I'm enjoying it here. Just enjoying the experience, not worried about anything. I'm under no pressure, no stress. It's just enjoyable. It's solid. And it goes like that. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. Which is what it should be. Remote viewing really should be an enjoyable experience when an actual remote viewing is taking place, because the qualities of it are completely different than if a remote viewing is not taking place and it's just a process of guessing. That doesn't feel good. When an actual remote viewing is taking place, it feels good. I know that's conceptual. What does that mean? You have to experience it. It's difficult to explain. I'm sitting with it now. I can feel it. I have a cat scratching at my door. There's a cat scratching at my door. Oh well, distractions, you have to learn how to deal with them. So now I feel good enough. I'm going to go into entry 3, which is shape form. And I like it, I like it, I like it. There's my water line down there. There's my cat scratching at the door again. which I don't think you can hear, but I can hear it. She's scratching, scratching away at the door. And it's just got these lines coming down. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I have to go let my cat in. So that's another example of it. Of the primary focus of my system is what I call a dimensional sensation. It can also be categorized, if we're looking at more neuroscience terms, sterognosis. But see, there's a difference here. There's a difference here. Now, I have some friends who have some experience, some training with CRV style remote viewing, and they have chosen to attempt to incorporate some of my theories and my methods into their remote viewing, and it hasn't produced the kind of results I think they were hoping for. In fact, it from my perspective caused a bit of a instability in their remote viewing apparatus, so to speak, which was really good feedback. My advice to my friends was, don't try to do what I'm doing. Stick with your CRV, and for a very specific reason, because the way that I look at systems of remote viewing, I look at them in terms of they're designed for specific types of brains. Meaning, in regards to aphantasia, or the mind type that can be termed aphantasia, which means, if you break it down, people who have no image in their mind. This is an example here. This is extreme aphantasia, and it kind of goes this way. Aphantasia means you don't think in mental images. You think in concepts. So if it's an apple, think of an apple. It would be the concept of an apple, the concept of red, or the concept of the shape, maybe the taste, the texture of the experience of it. Aphantasia, that's what that is. And there are some systems that are good for people who have aphantasia. Like, in my opinion, CRV style remote viewing is a bit more geared for people who may have an aphantasia mind, because it doesn't focus primarily on images. You want to get more conceptual, piece things together. There's emotions, feelings, or aesthetic impacts, emotional impacts of others, that kind of thing in CRV. Hyperphantasia is the opposite of aphantasia. That is people who have extremely vivid mental imagery. In my opinion, HRVG method would be very good for people who have degrees of hyperphantasia, because HRVG is a very visual-driven protocol. They're both great. CRV is great. HRVG is great. For people who have these kinds of minds, hyperphantasia, aphantasia, I want you to know there are systems of remote viewing that can gear towards your mind. My system, I focus more on this. What can be considered sterognosis and proprioception. What is the definition of sterognosis? Also can be called haptic perception. The ability to perceive and recognize the form of an object in the absence of visual and auditory information by using tactile information to provide cues from texture, size, spatial properties, and temperature. You know how I found sterognosis and how I found proprioception was by working hundreds of practice sessions to blind quote-unquote targets to find where the stimulation was happening in my brain. That's how I found the parts of the brain that where these things take place. This is the basis of what I'm doing here. So if someone is primarily working with a CRV style, where they may get into something that may be considered sterognosis, maybe in stage 6 clay metal or clay model representations and that kind of thing, way off in stage 6, where they may say, okay, I kind of get that concept a little bit, but that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. In my method, this comes first. This comes first. And the reason why is because I want to know right here if an actual remote viewing is taking place or not. That's what I want to know. And I know it when my proprioceptors begin to produce sterognosis, or what I call dimensional sensations, just like you're seeing here. It's the dimensionality, the spatiality, the density is coming through in a sensation. It's difficult to describe. It's an experience. I can conceptualize it, but without doing it any real justice. It's a sensation. And so to go from a standardized system like CRV and then to try to incorporate what I'm doing, I'm going to advise people that you could see an intense instability in your remote viewing. I can move back and forth between the systems because I've been doing this for 25 years, remote viewing. And I've been working on this stuff for over 10 years. So I can move back and forth easily between CRV, my method, even do some HRVG as well if I feel that's what I need to do. You know, I can move back and forth between the two of them because I work on this stuff. This is what I work on. You know, so I would advise folks out there, be cautious when you're trying to break out of a protocol or break a protocol and incorporate something like this. You may find a very intense instability takes place that may not feel very comfortable. So I don't advise it. I don't advise it. You know, I wanted to talk about it. Very, very important, because these are some recent developments from some feedback of people who have been doing that. And it's quite fascinating. So this is the way that I look at it. Aphantasia, I put that more in the CRV realm. Hyperphantasia, I put that more in the HRVG realm. Sterognosis, that's my realm. That's my realm. I love that realm. It's my favorite realm. It's my favorite. It's a realm that I feel very comfortable in. You know, I do. That doesn't mean anybody else will. That's why HRVG works better for some and doesn't work well for others. CRV works better for some, it doesn't work well for others. Because if you don't have mental images, you have aphantasia, CRV is a better option. You got hyperphantasia, HRVG, check it out, man. Sterognosis, I love that realm. Okay, well, I hope you find that interesting, and the best is yet to come.